drinkers and drug addicts, they don't grow up to want to live on the street like this.
I slept on the sidewalk for almost 2 months.
I learned to drink when I was in the Navy. They taught me well.
I built this.
How do you make this? What's the process?
Chop it up, put it in there, add some yeast and sugar.
How's it taste?
Very good.
Some guy was up at the pavilion 1:30 in the morning. Dear Lord, please watch over the homeless.
Keep my soups in case anything happens. If I gotta run, I got food.
My jaw, and I got fake kneecap.
These are my prison tats. Widowmaker, peacemaker.
There's a drain in the handicap stall, and I have gallons of water. I just strip down naked, dump the water on me, soap up.
I can say one thing about being homeless. It's never a dull moment.
This is Lake Worth, Florida. A quintessential South Florida town, Lake Worth consists of pre-planned communities, strip malls, and a bank or pharmacy on nearly every intersection. Of course, let's not forget the standard Florida activities, such as surfing, parasailing, fishing, jet skiing, you get the point. But there's also this. This being a conglomeration of camping tents pitched inside of a local county park, also known as a homeless encampment, also known as, in this particular case, Tent City. I stopped by one afternoon, spoke to a few people, and learned a bit more about how the park had been gradually taken over by tents.
There's not one homeless shelter in Palm Beach County. Therefore, by law, we can't be removed.
She's not wrong. Turns out, legally, the county is not allowed to forcibly move anyone. On a recent ruling regarding forcible relocation of the homeless, the court stated, quote, "The cruel and unusual punishments clause of the 8th Amendment precluded the enforcement of a statute prohibiting sleeping outside against homeless individuals with no access to alternative shelter," end quote. Translation, if you cannot provide shelter to place the homeless in, you cannot force anyone to move. Many of the campers here hitchhiked or bussed in from other states, traveling from as far north as Michigan on multiple Greyhounds, all because they saw this encampment on the news and thought if they can get there, they'd have nice weather and no one would bother them.
We just got here just this morning.
Not before
We slept
last
under
we
a
saw
tree.
it on the news.
They gave us a tent. They gave us food. You take things for granted in life. Just a simple shower, you don't know how valuable that is until you haven't had one for 2 or 3 days,
At its peak, the population grew to well over 100. There was a situation in Palm Beach County that was quickly turning into a crisis.
I've been in this park 6 years now. Oh, this was never here. And somebody brought a tent in and it all snowballed from there.
The county needed a solution. Eventually, they built a large enough facility to slowly relocate the population in the park. But before they did that, I spent a Saturday here, roaming around the park, speaking to whoever was willing to talk on camera, which really was only a handful. Among those handful were some pretty powerful stories, from a lifetime of living on the road to traumatic life or death situations. And I can't forget to mention the level of ingenuity I saw, from a man who rebuilt bikes he found inside dumpsters to a guy who produced handmade necklaces to even winemakers. Well, winemaker might be a stretch, but these men fermented a concoction of tropical fruit to produce sangria inside their tent. Before we jump in, you're probably wondering, what did I ask them? A good place to start? What's your story, of course.
My mom was a prostitute, and she had me in some environments that I shouldn't have been in. I was, really confused when I was young. Just everybody do this, it's just going on in everybody's home, things like that. I didn't want my grandma to know what was going on in the home because I was scared. I love my mom and my grandma. I didn't want to fight. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I wanted them both to love me. If I said something, my mom would hate me. That's difficult for a young man to make that decision. I knew my mom loved me, but she had a problem with alcohol and everything, and she changed. When she got to a certain point where she wasn't her no more. It's hard for a little boy because you want love. You want your mother to be proud of you and lift you up. I made the choice that, you know what, no, I want a better life. I want opportunity. I want something different, you know, than what I'm doing. I'm seeing there. And then
How old were you?
I was 10. We just now got here today because everywhere we went, everybody told us to move. You can't be in this spot. Police say you can't be here after 11, on the beach. You can't be here. Well, where are we going to go then? I've paid taxes all my life since I was 16 years old. If there's not any help for us at all, everybody's got their story, whether it be by choice or whether it be because of circumstances. Thank God there's a place where we can sit here and regroup, and I can go off and find work again, and I know that she's okay. That means the world to me, And instead of getting up and thinking about what you don't have, be thankful for what you do got, your health. You're not in a wheelchair. You're not in the middle of a war watching your families getting their heads twisted off or anything like that. We've got a lot to be thankful for right here, right now.
You still have your dad's Bible,
Absolutely.
and you carry that around with
We
you.
make sure,
Yes.
we make sure that's safe. And
Carry that
doesn't
around
get
right
wet.
here. He's
What-
carried this
Because
and dirty clothes bag,
we
and
feel
that's why I
like-
said people look at him like when you have a sack
We
over
feel like
your shoulder.
That with this is like something with us that is gives us like protection.
It's been rained on, and
And
everything.
it's like the only sentimental thing we have left. You know what I mean?
He meant so much to me.
Yeah, it's a piece of her father that she can't.
Don't make me cry.
She feels close when this is with her, So we protect this. It's Valentine's Day, so here we go. Ready?
Don't sing to me.
Here we go. When I first saw you,
He embarrasses the crap out
with a smile so tender,
Stop, Elvis.
my heart was captured, my soul surrendered. We're not on drugs. We're not drunk.
We're thankful to have
we're
ate
just-
today and had
we're just-
not to sleep underneath a tree.
We're just happy with each other, and we're just happy to be together.
I got red, blue, yellow, and they're beautiful. At nighttime, come back at night, and this whole thing will be lit up. I've been here 3 weeks, maybe a month now, right? A month. I got 1 gallon buckets that heat up in the sun. I got a camp shower which heats up in the sun, but it broke. But in the back of my tent, I got a hookup because women like to pee in the shower, vomit nasty. I can't go in there barefoot because it grosses me out. So I built this. A milk crate and a shower bed. Wash my feet, clean myself in privacy. But I'm gonna take down the tarps, I'm gonna put little pom-poms in here, and it'll be really good. Straight up. Because I like to be clean. February 7th, my boyfriend died last year. This February 7th, he was dead 1 year. He was deaf and disabled. His throat collapsed. He died in the street. 2 years ago, he smoked spice. He cracked the back of his skull and became deaf and disabled, messed up his equilibrium. And I had to get a job. I had to take care of him. And when he got out of the hospital, he couldn't accept the fact that he was deaf and disabled. He walked like this. He could never ride a bike. He wanted to die. A lot of bad things happened to me along my journey
Drugs
to
are
here.
bad. Yeah.
I got sick of living in my truck with my dog. It's not fair to her, to the dog. This is my bedding area. I got to put on the mattress on the side of the road. It was clean. It didn't smell like cat piss, so I was like, yeah, I'll deal with that. I got 2 pillows. Here's my ashtray and my cup holder so I don't spill it on the ground.
The problem is that people with each other here.
That's good, that's good.
You got this many people, of course there's gonna be some bad apples.
Keep my clothes in the bag so I don't get wet. Stuff in the cooler, food. We go get ice every day. We get ice from Burger King for 99 cents, 10-pound bag. Little battery-powered light bulbs. We don't take the thieves too kindly. I already seen somebody get beat by 5 or 6 people, crowbar over the head, and stabbed in the leg too. Another guy got beat over the head with a golf club while he slept in his tent. Erica sleeps over here, and we sleep in the same tent for protection, company, companionship.
You know what, this is gonna be temporary only. It has to be. Life is temporary anyway. It's only a ride. I can't take any of it too seriously. Even my own dead wife. It's like, if there's any fairness in this world, we'll meet up in the next world.
Could I ask what happened to your wife?
She overdosed.
My
this-
boyfriend died February 7th.
She overdosed. And look at me. I don't do freaking needles. I don't freaking do drugs. I smoke weed. The last day I saw her alive was Valentine's Day, 3 years ago. Around here on this campsite, this is a form of gold. very good currency, batteries, because, you know, we need it for our flashlights, you know, and our radios.
And how old are your kids?
The oldest is probably like 29. I'm not good with the dates or whatever. 29, I think, and the youngest is probably hitting like 5 years old. It's a boy. I got 3 girls and a boy.
The encampment built such a reputation in the local area that for the short time I was there, about a half a dozen locals stopped by and dropped off everything from food to clothing to even appliances. I very briefly captured one such interaction while with Erica and Roger.
Jeans, right? Female jeans, crazy.
I got a pair of Nike shoes. We got a grill we needed. We've been praying for a grill, literally, because prayer works. I'll tell people out there, prayer does work.
Met my wife, first wife, in Portland, Missouri, population 398. That lasted 3.5 months. She got rid of me real quick. Then I met my wife, Pamela, and had 3 daughters. Did the oil rig thing, so I was like every 16-day father. I'd come home and then have to turn around and go right back. And so the money was good, but I wasn't there. Well, I got in a car wreck. I lost my job, and then I lost my wife, and now I pay child support, so they take my driver's license away. Now I'm homeless because I can't afford to get a place. So it's like darned if I do and darned if I don't. I mean, if I don't pay child support, I'm going to prison. If I do, I can't get this built. This was a car wreck, and that I got a fake knee, broke my jaw, ripped the muscle off my shoulder. Lots of poly. I eat like 1,500 milligram of pain and fever reducers just for the pain, or drink a beer. Right after my wife left me, I said, well, I was born in Florida, I'm gonna die in Florida. And I took off and I came back here. I said, well, I can't be homeless in Missouri because you'll freeze your ass off. I went from a tent, like that big orange one, gray one down there, down to a 3-man tent. So then I got all this crap, cast iron pans, fire pits, refrigerator, stereo bar, TV.
Intrigued by Kevin's story, there's a part of him that is not captured here. His absolute obsession with bicycles. Every single night, like clockwork, Kevin went out dumpster diving, finding any spare bike parts he could. He'd then tow them back to his site and study them until sunrise. He'd then sleep all day and start over again. Why? That's the more interesting part. Therapy. Kevin suffers from PTSD and served as a Marine. Fixing bikes got him out of his head, his thoughts. His trauma washed away, at least temporarily. There's a lot more to unpack here for a later date. An entire documentary on his story will soon be released under the Our Story channel. For now, we return to our regularly scheduled programming.
I was delivered in a Palm Beach County Sheriff's truck. I came out here, I want to say, a year ago November. I was housed for 3 years and 3 months, and I was homeless 10 years before that. When my boyfriend was alive, he went into the hospital for 2 surgeries, and I had called the mayor of our district, and we filled out a questionnaire that I was filling out for 5 years, and we got accepted for an apartment. And the 3rd morning we were there, my boyfriend went out to smoke a cigarette, and 2 guys approached him and asked him for a glass of water. I was sleeping, I woke up and I heard him say, I don't understand, I gave you the water, what do you want from me? Now the video surveillance camera outside showed the men letting themselves into the apartment. They were trying to rob us, but we didn't have anything. And I didn't know they had a gun. And I'm running around looking for the phone. I didn't realize they grabbed it when they came in. And they started pistol whipping him. When I said to them, I promise you, we have nothing. We've been homeless. The one man stopped feeling around for valuables. When he stopped and listened to me, the gunman put the gun to my head. And I froze. So my boyfriend, to get the gun off of me, started talking, which worked. They started pistol whipping him. And eventually they took him outside and shot him 5 times and killed him. And they got nothing. Isn't that terrible? Yeah. And what the county did for me was they gave me another year of free housing. So, like, what's worse, being homeless or being housed? You know, we were out here 10 years and nobody tried to harm us. I was holding him when he died. The first gunshot, okay. The second one, the third one, I went like this to myself. And I said no. And then there were 2 more after that. And I thought, like, in a split second, we were homeless for 10 years and this happened here. And then I'm thinking, you gotta pull through it. And then I'm thinking, there's no way you're gonna pull through it. 5 gunshots this far away. And I'll be honest with you, everybody said, Dominie, you're so lucky. They could have killed you. And I looked at them and I said, why didn't they? That's how I felt. Why didn't they just kill me? Because he was such a part of my life. People say they want to love me and I pull back. Maybe I do now. Pull back, yes. Yes. Yeah, that was extremely painful. I have 3 sisters and I talk to them. They're talking about me going to the Carolinas with my sister there. But it's so funny because this is such a way of life after so many years that I'm actually hesitating to be indoors. You know, some of these people are like my family.
I have a drinking problem. So she divorced me over that. And I lost everything and lost my job, lost my business. Just gave everything away and just hit the road. I walked everywhere. Bridges, ponds for bathing. He's got a lot of mileage on him. Collect a disability check now because it's so many years of drinking liquor. Shut my liver down. I have seizures and depression and all kinds of stuff wrong with me. So my bones still ache and hurt so much. I was a 40-year construction worker making $1,500, $2,000 a week. Had everything I needed. My wife, my truck, my four-wheel drive, so I ruined it. I wasn't a mean drunk. I was the life of the party. They called me the Joker. We got the Joker on. Because I used to be the life of the party. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old when my parents got divorced. So, I just say I still don't speak to them. So, that was a long, long time ago.
Do you have kids?
I have 2 daughters, Jamie and Joan.
Do you talk to them?
No,
I noticed you're shaking.
that's my tremors. I have tremors.
Is that from the alcohol?
Yeah,
From not drinking it?
yeah.
What do you look for to keep you happy?
Nothing really. I'm not happy anymore.
9/11/16, I had a motorcycle accident and my best friend died and I have a traumatic brain injury as a result of the accident. A juvenile in a stolen car was running from the police. And that started my homelessness. And now, I spent almost a year in the hospital and now, you know, I have different sort of problems. My health is pretty poor. 2 weeks, I'll be signing the papers to get permanent housing, 30% of my income for the rest of my life. So I'm really blessed. But a lot of people don't know that you just have 1 paycheck away, perhaps 1 accident away from being exactly in the tent that I'm in. I'm a child of God. Set free, free indeed. You know, I'm not perfect. We all, you know, fall short, but I believe in Jesus. And, you know, I just have to keep my head up. Some days are better than others.
I do consider myself homeless. And the sad part about it is I'm retired U.S. Navy.
How long did you serve in the military?
27 years. I've got PSTD, I cry a lot. It's okay. I'm all right. I got my best friend right here. I learned to drink when I was in the Navy. They taught me well. Send us out and do what we had to do, and we'd come back and drink like fish. That was the routine for a long time. November 20th, 2018, I was texting and driving. Slam! Right into the back of a semi at 40 miles an hour, my head going right through the windshield. I decided it would be a good idea to get to the hospital. Well, that was a bad decision. A couple minutes later, the sheriff were arresting me and taking me to the hospital. So I ended up in jail for a while. I had lost my apartment, my car, my job, pretty much my life. When I got out of jail, December 23rd, 2018, I had nowhere to go. So I came here because I knew people that didn't have any place to go, homeless people, that they stayed out here. The park rangers are very, very cool. Very cool. The sheriffs that come through here are very cool. Basically, the VA is gonna pay for our apartment. They offered me a job too. This is the third time today that people have brought out donated food. There is no way, if you've got any kind of common sense, you're gonna go hungry out here. There's good and bad everywhere. And just for example, it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning this morning. There was a big fight. You can pretty much count on a fight every night. So we keep to ourselves.
Over time, tent by tent, people were told to leave. They were given the option: enter into one of the newly available shelters or go elsewhere. Bottom line, the county eventually cleared the park.
There's a lot of interesting stories out here that a lot of people tell you. I mean, I got a lot more, but I'd bore you to death.
Is that TV?
No, YouTube.
Oh yeah, put me on YouTube. Hey, everybody on YouTube, vote for me. Put me on Naked and Afraid. And I'm not afraid.
It doesn't work like that.
Dude, I live in a, man, you don't even know.
Listen,
It does work.
You don't
YouTube does work like that. Am I right, sir?
Naked and Afraid doesn't work like that.
Am I right? Believe me, I can build.
No, drunk,
I can
naked
survive
and afraid.
like anybody. You don't even
So
know.
can I.
Yeah, okay.
But I like that though. I like True Soldier.
Naked and Afraid right here. Give me a ticket out of here, and I guarantee I will bring the ratings up. That's right.
Can you stop that? He's not going to get you on Naked
You don't
and
know that.
Afraid. What do
You
you mean
don't
I
know
don't
that?
know that? I do
Somebody
know
might
that.
see
I
that.
know that.
Whatever.
You want to make a bet?
Nope. Because I just might be on it.
Because you know that I don't bet unless I win.
Whatever.
Come on, let's bet.
Nope. Because I'm not going to jinx myself.